Hello my fellow smug ones, well I've got two different sorts of TV licence letters for you today where visits have apparently been scheduled and I think they're absolutely disgraceful. Let's begin. Okay, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Madeline for the first one. Here is your well-deserved legend badge. Let's get into it. Okay, as you can see, it's addressed to the legal occupier, which means they haven't got a clue who lives there. Just above the cut-off is their TV licence logo and it says your status. In bold, in red, to make you poop your pants, I'm guessing. It says visit scheduled. Just below that, we've got the date, September 2021, and we've got a reference number in bold to tell you that obviously is your reference number, even though they don't know who you are. And below that, in big, bold, red lettering, just to make you know how serious it is, it says your address has been scheduled for a visit by an enforcement officer, so you must comply. But you don't actually have to let them in at all. And remember, at the end of the day, they got as much power as a pizza delivery boy. Anyway, it says, dear sir or madam, you did not respond to our last letter. How dare you? Oh, that doesn't say that, but that's the way it comes across, isn't it? Within the last 10 days we gave you. So they're obviously a bit grumpy first of all, aren't they? This means we have no option but to start an investigation on your address. You can investigate all you like, you haven't got a clue who lives there, have you? And in big bold letters, what happens now? Because obviously you didn't do something which, to be honest, you didn't really actually need to do anyway. We have scheduled a visit by an officer from the Guildford Enforcement Division. Oh, that's scary, isn't it? Well, I know it's October, but it's a little bit early for Halloween, isn't it? Anyway, the enforcement officer will explain why they are visiting you and will be polite and fair. That's okay, I'll be polite and fair when I close the door and say no thank you. If they find evidence that you are watching or recording live TV programmes on any channel or device or downloading or watching BBC programmes on iPlayer without being covered by a licence, they will interview you under caution, which they're not the police, so they can't really do that anyway, and this could be used as evidence in a court. And this implies that you have to let them in, doesn't it? When in reality, as I said before, you don't. It's your house, remember. They have got absolutely no right to enter it. If you are prosecuted, you could be fined of up to £1,000 plus legal costs or any compensation you may be ordered to pay. Although in reality, I've heard that the £1,000 fine is rarely given out. And in a big red outline, we've got in bold letters, you still have a chance to avoid this visit. I'm guessing probably so they don't feel embarrassed when, I don't know, you might not answer the door maybe. Call our specialist team immediately. How dare you tell me what to do, especially immediately. I will take my own time. Thank you very much. And in fact, I wouldn't actually call you at all unless I fancy cancelling my TV licence, and that, to be honest with you, is the only time I'd call them. Anyway, they have the authority to stop this enforcement visit. They also have lots of experience of helping people in similar situations decide if they need a TV licence and to find the best way to spread the costs. Let me guess, that's probably the most expensive weekly way of £6 a week, which obviously is £24 a month, which is nearly twice as much as a TV licence costs. Anyway, for example, you could pay from £6 a week, there you go, look, with a payment card. Remember, in bold letters, you must call us now if you want to stop the investigation. But what they're not realising is while this comes across as probably quite scary to a lot of people, they haven't got the person's name. And surely they can't do anything without that, can they? Because you can't take nobody to court, you have to take someone, don't you? Anyway, yours faithfully, Scott Robson, Enforcement Manager, Guildford. And obviously, they want to let you know it's obviously very serious because it's a manager who's writing to you. What you need to know about the enforcement process, because they're not even finished yet, they still want to pile on the pressure, don't they? We can apply for a search warrant to gain access to your property. Yes, they can, but they won't actually get one unless they have some sort of evidence that you are actually watching live TV. And as far as I'm concerned, they can only get that if you let them in to do an inspection, because I can't think of any other way they can do it. Some of you might say detector vans, but if you look at the pictures of old detector vans from the olden days, can you imagine them actually detecting anything? Like the old Columbo advert where they apparently see them watching Columbo on the TV channel. And in fact, I can't see how that can be done at all. It continues, an officer can interview you under caution in accordance with the national criminal law. And that sounds actually quite scary in itself, doesn't it? An officer. But remember, they're not a police officer at the end of the day. Anything you say to the officer may be used as evidence in a court. And that's actually quite sneaky, the wording of those last two things, because it makes it sound that there's actually got quite a lot of weight to it, as if it's like the police or something, doesn't it? When in fact it isn't. You risk a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs or compensation you may be ordered to pay. And again, they're saying the same thing from earlier. If your property needs a TV licence, you still need to buy one. So they don't actually know if you need one or not. And there's actually quite a lot of people, including me, which just watch catch-up TV, who don't record or watch live TV and don't even want to watch BBC iPlayer, who have no reason to buy a TV licence, and people like us still get letters like this, and I think it's absolutely disgraceful at the end of the day. Imagine if Netflix sent me a letter saying, why aren't you subscribed to us? If you don't subscribe to us, this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen. That would never wash with anyone, would it? So I think it's absolutely disgraceful that the BBC still is allowed to use these sort of tactics. In Scotland, Scottish criminal law applies. A report will be sent to the Procurator Fiscal, who will decide on prosecution. Well, if we want to prosecute a man or woman with no name, then that's up to them, isn't it? Please do not write below this line, and then what do? They go right below it with a reference number, don't they? So they're going against their own thing anyway, aren't they? Let's move on to the next one. This next letter has been sent to 2 different people in 2 different parts of the country, so it makes me wonder if the BBC are probably getting a little bit desperate and hoping that if they plaster it everywhere, that surely someone will respond. But to be honest, I think they'll be in for a long wait. Anyway, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to both Dee and Simon for sending this letter in. Here are both for your well-deserved legend badges. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, if you saw this land on your map, what would you think? That is possibly one of those red Virginic gift experience letters that someone may have kindly bought you. So obviously, as it doesn't say anything on the front or back who it's from, you're really excited thinking this is this gift experience. You open it up and it's from TV licensing, who their gift experience to you is an enforcement visit. Isn't that nice? Again, it's addressed to Mr. or Mrs. the legal occupier. That seems to be quite a common name, doesn't it? From all parts of the country. Anyway, there's the TV license dreaded logo. September 2021. Dear Sir or Madam, as you have not responded to our letters yet, so they are getting quite annoyed with people, it seems. You have left us with no alternative but to proceed with the final stages of our investigation. And that sentence there seems to come across with so much authority as if you've done something wrong, doesn't it? And that might actually be frightening to quite a lot of people. Anyway, an officer has been scheduled to visit, and it gives the address, to find out if TV is being watched, recorded, or downloaded illegally. The officer may visit your property at any day of the week, morning or evening, so they ain't got a clue if or when he may turn up at all. The information below explains the procedure. You may wish to refer to it during a visit from the officer. Yours faithfully, Jane Jeffers again. She was from the one from the other day. Enforcement manager from Stoke this time. I can't remember where the other one was, but I don't think it was from Stoke, so I'm guessing she's moved. Anyway, oh look, they've kindly provided little scissor icons so you can cut it out. It contains a reference number which may or may not be made up. What you need to know about the enforcement process, in bold. We can apply for a search warrant to gain access to your property, but as I said earlier, they need some sort of evidence. An officer may interview you under caution in accordance with a national criminal law. My interview would be something like this. Hello, I'm from TV licensing. Oh no, thank you. Bye-bye. Boom. That's just tough. Anyway, anything you say to the officer may be used as evidence in court, and that's those 2 sentences again, isn't it? They seem to be using that quite a lot nowadays. You risk a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs and /or any compensation you may be ordered to pay. Obviously, if you're not watching or recording live TV or watching BBC iPlayer, then you're not risking anything, are you? But obviously, they don't want you to know that, do they? If your property needs a TV licence, you will still need to buy one. My property doesn't, because I don't do any of those things. And probably to make you have nightmares, I'm guessing, it says in a big red circle, visit undertaken and in bold by Stoke Enforcement Division. It's not just any enforcement division, it's the Stoke one. Don't know what difference that makes, but there we go. And not forgetting the equally scary Newcastle Enforcement Division. Oh, I'm pooping my pants. Oh. Please ask for identification, which, to be honest with you, shouldn't have to ask. You should just show you anyway, shouldn't they? A reminder of the law in a big red outline. It is illegal to watch or record live TV programmes on any channel, or to download or watch BBC programmes on iPlayer without a TV licence, no matter what device you use. You can still do one of the following. This just screams of, please buy a licence, we really need you to. Oh look, buy a licence at, and it gives the web address. Or call us on, and it gives the number. A colour licence costs £159. Obviously, they usually mention a black and white one, but they've decided not to now. Have they finally caught on to not many people watch black and white TV anymore? Let us know you don't need a TV licence, which strangely and coincidentally is the last option on the page, which I'm guessing they might not want you to do, strangely enough. And it gives the web address or on the same phone number. We may visit to confirm this. Well, you can if you like, but there's no requirement for me to open my door at all, is there? Anyway. Again, it says, please do not write below this line, and strangely, yet again, they have written below the line with their reference number. And I don't know about you, but I think these two letters are totally and utterly disgraceful. And if it was any other company apart from the BBC, then I'm sure this would come across as some sort of harassment, because at the end of the day, you're not a customer to them, are you? I mean, they don't even know who you are by these two letters, because they call you the legal occupier. So if you're not a customer to them, how can they ask you for money? It seems ridiculous, doesn't it? And hopefully in 2027, when the TV licence Royal Charter Protection ends, these letters might finally stop. But I've got a feeling until then they probably won't. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? YouTube's algorithm thinks you'd like to see one of these videos next, so let me know if it's right.